Joan Quinn Profiles. As an editor for Andy Warhol's Interview, the Los Angeles Herald-Examiner, LA Style, and Detour magazines, Joan covered the social set, the Hollywood hotshots, the international art scene, the mysteries of food, the excitement of travel, and the fabulous world of fashion. Joan continues to find creative people on the cutting edge who make things happen. Here's Joan Agajanian Quinn.
Hi, I'm Joan Quinn, and welcome to the Joan Quinn Profiles. Waiting to be profiled are entrepreneur Maggie Hale and actor John Paul Karliak. Entrepreneur in the healthcare sector, Maggie Hale was born and raised in Independence, Missouri. She's currently working with teenagers who need to learn the basics of healthy lifestyles, and she continues her personal consulting with the celebrity crowd in Hollywood. Did you start out as a healthcare specialist?
I did, actually. I had a medical facility and we catered to hospice patients.
Oh, you did? Well, how did you get there? How did you start that?
Well, I actually went into the medical business when I was 18, and I actually ended up being a supervisor over nurses at Olston Healthcare for years.
Where was that?
That's actually a national company, but it was in Arizona.
Oh, it wasn't?
And we were helping care facilities get licensed. And so I was already working in the field, and I decided to open up my own medical facility, and we decided to cater to hospice.
And what kind of a temperament do you have to do that?
Well, I just love hospice. I mean, when you're taking care of patients, especially on their last days, it's just
so
special.
Hard, but it has to be a certain kind of very loving person.
Well, the way I looked at it is if I wasn't doing it and they were in a cold institution, that was the alternative, and I felt like there's a lot of people out there that are helping, and I wanted to be one of them.
So tell us the story of how you actually did get started in this field.
Well, when I was working at Olston, we were helping other facilities, like I said, get licensed, and I was helping them, and so I decided to go ahead and get licensed myself. And then I started catering to specifically hospice, which is what we did in our medical facility.
But I mean, let's go back one more. Let's go back to when you started at 18, and to your background of what led you into this caring kind of situation.
Well, when I was a little girl, my father was a very violent man, and my mother and father got divorced, and he actually she was able to get custody of us, and he kidnapped us when I was 5.
How many of you were there?
Me and my 2 brothers.
Oh, wow.
And so he took us to, I was born in Missouri, and we moved to California, took us back to Missouri, and he was a violent man. And so when I was 15, I was a very damaged kid, and I moved out on my own and got my own legal guardianship.
You did at 15?
15.
So you've had a life that can mentor teenagers.
Well, I can understand.
You can understand what they're going through.
Yes. A lot of pain. But I was very fortunate that I had a mentor come in my life and some other amazing people, and they helped me redirect the negative self-talk that was going on in my head from the damage that I'd gone through. You
were very overweight, you said. Who helped you with that?
Well, I've been overweight my entire life, and so...
Right when you were 15?
I was actually 60 pounds overweight by the time I was 8 years old.
Oh, you were. So it started out from, what would you say? The situation in the family?
Probably,
in the house?
Yes. It's
household?
Also genetic as well.
Is it?
But
yeah.
I mean, I got up to as high as almost 360 pounds.
Oh, you did? So then how did you help reshape your life?
Well, when I went into the medical facility and our hospice facility, we actually would get patients that came from other facilities with decubitus ulcers, which are known as bed sores, and skin tears. And I was with a biochemist, and we created a product.
Oh, you did work with a biochemist. And what was that?
Well, it was designed to actually help pull infection out of wounds. And then what ended up happening is it was a fluke later. It ended up being a program that helped me on my journey.
Well, tell us, it's a piece of fabric. It's like a bandage.
Well, in the hospice facility, we didn't use it as a bandage. We just used the actual product itself.
So what did the product just go on the body?
It went onto the wound and it helped pull out some of the infection, and then we were able to get amazing healing properties.
How does it pull out the infection?
Well, with the decubitus ulcer, basically that's what it was doing. It was able to help draw out some of that infection. And it was able to get amazing healing. Well, we had to get some of that because there's so much bacteria and things like that build up in these decubitus ulcers. And so we were having amazing healing properties from that. And then we ended up with a couple patients that outlived their funds. And so we ended up opening a spa to supplement the income. And then in the spa, we were doing wraps from other companies. And then one day we decided to try our product for wound care in a body wrap treatment.
And you'd never done that before?
Right, and that's what ended up happening.
How did you, and that's called Slim Silhouette.
Slimmer Silhouette.
Slimmer Silhouette. And so what actually happened then? This must have been like you were, healing the heart and the whole body responded or something like that?
It was just amazing because most of the wraps that I was familiar with were like the sweat treatments where you sweat and it comes right back.
Yes.
And we were doing a variety of different wraps.
Oh, it comes right back?
Not with ours.
No, but I mean, if you do that wrap and you lose all that water, it comes right back?
Yeah, when you do a clay, a mud, a seaweed, an herbal strand wrap, they smother the pores and they cause you to sweat. And a lot of times they put you in a situation where they also cause you to sweat, like cocoon you up in blankets.
So that you get
right.
And then you lose weight supposedly.
And that's what we were doing at our spa, along with some other treatments as well.
Uh-huh.
And then one day I decided to try a product for wound care in a body wrap treatment, and what we got was amazing results. And so we did over 50,000 treatments, and I was 350 at the time.
350 what?
Pounds.
You were?
Pounds, yes.
And you were using this on yourself?
I was, and I am still. So now I've come down over 15 sizes from when I started. So I'm on my journey still.
Yeah,
not there
it
yet.
takes a long time. Well, then, once you founded this, did you start a company?
Yes, well, we had a spa already, and we were doing, like I said, we did over 50,000.
This was in conjunction with the hospice?
Yes. And then it was to supplement the income for the hospice, and then
I see.
later on we had a spa. And then actually in 2007, my father passed away, and when he passed away, I started thinking about these teens that are suicidal, sitting in their room, feeling this intense pain like I was, not knowing how to deal with it, and they turned to drugs, alcohol, and suicide. And I started researching, and the numbers were astronomical.
Is that right? Were they all from abused teens, or were they different situations?
Different situations. Like some was from a teen abuse, like I had. Others had great parents, but they had bullying at school, or they were, they were kind of hard on themselves, or maybe they were gay and they were trying to deal with that. So that's a lot of the research had to do with, physical self-esteem as well, self-image.
But you also, along the way, once you developed this, you had a celebrity clientele.
Well, I did. Once I decided to take
do.
this, I do still. What happened is when I decided to take this out to the world market so that I could fund my program for healthy teens and some other nonprofits that I'm really passionate about, I decided to go ahead. I already got medical endorsements, and so I decided to go ahead and get some celebrity endorsements.
So you actually got the product, sell the product, and the money that you make, you put into this teen situation as part of your giving back to the community.
Right, we're just launching that. So.
And you're just launching that. And then you have celebrity endorsements who believe in your slimmer silhouette.
Yes, and they refer us to each other. So that's been the great fun from it.
So that's how it morphed, your business morphed into the teen thing, but you also do coaching and training.
Well, that's part of the teen program.
Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, and Kathy Silvers is part of that.
Kathy Silvers, who's just great. She's been on here. She's a health nut, isn't she? She's great.
I love Kathy. She's great.
And she's so healthy.
She is, and she's been a great example to me.
So she would be part of your celebrity. Ben Vereen, I think, has also talked about it. And he was sick, wasn't he, for a while?
Yeah, he's a great guy, though. Sure love him.
And did it help him in manipulating? Does it help with your body, manipulating could it be for older people?
Yeah, so one of the benefits that a lot of people...
We're talking about teenagers. What about older people?
Well, a lot of the benefits that a lot of the celebrities like is they may be at a great size, but it helps tighten their skin. And they also love the fact that they're getting healthy minerals in their body, because we've got doctors that will go on record stating without the minerals, your body doesn't digest nutrients properly. And so that's basically one of the things that it does as well.
So we were talking about Ben Vereen, we're talking about Allison Argram.
She's
and
fun.
We're talking Tippi
She's a
Hedren.
I love Tippi.
So they all say that they take these wraps because there's nothing, it's like going to the spa. There's nothing like going to the plastic surgeon.
Yeah, it's a natural alternative. So.
And the other thing about it is, if it's good all over your body, like you're saying, why can't we use it on our face to tighten our... We do?
We do, yeah.
Oh, we do?
Yeah. That's one of their favorite parts. Michael Beckwith and Ricky as well from Agape are big fans, and they do it for the actual minerals, and they love the benefit of what it does for the face as well.
I see. Okay, now let's get back into the training and the coaching of the teens like you were talking about.
Well, it will have food coaching, life coaching, personal trainers. We've got a couple of celebrity photographers that are interested right now, so we're interviewing them. That we want to take their picture of these teens right up front where they feel good about themselves immediately, instead of waiting till they get down and get skinny, because we're actually working with the beginning, and we're going to be working with teens with overeating issues.
That'll be the first thing. Do you go into the schools?
We will be going into the schools.
And how will you decide where to go?
Well, we're getting requests all over the country right now, but we're going to start in the LA market, and we're going to interview, and we're going to start with 10 girls.
And you find overweight girls.
Yes, that's what we're going to start with.
That would be the first thing that you would do.
That's what we're going to begin with.
And you would
we'll expand it from there.
Referrals from
yes, we're already getting
schools,
referrals.
From the schools?
From schools and other programs. And then also hypnosis. We're going to do hypnosis for them because we need to change the negative self-talk that's it's reprocessing in their head.
How do you do that? You'll just say you take 10 girls and you just you coach them, you train them, and then do they spread the word as well to their friends?
Well, I imagine that's what's going to happen, but we've also got celebrities, that will be a part of this as well, and so it will be spreading as we go.
Well, we're going to look for that.
I'm excited about it.
I'm very excited too. I think that component of helping teenagers is very, very strong and important and very needed. And I thank you for that.
Thank you.
And don't go away. We'll be right back with actor John Paul Karliak. Hi, I'm Joan Quinn, and welcome back to the Joan Quinn Profiles. I'm here with writer-performer John Paul Karliak, who graduated from the USC School of Theater and trained at Second City. He has a one-person show called Donna Madonna, and it's at the Lounge Theater in Hollywood. JP, how did you get involved in one-person shows?
Well, I think growing up an only child, it kind of lended itself to it. No, shortly after I graduated from USC, the Center Theater Group was doing a sort of a special package where you could see Lily Tomlin, Alec Mapa, John Leguizamo, and Elaine Stritch all in one season, and I saw all of them and was just so inspired by that art form. Their performances are just so completely different and yet so unbelievably personal, and I kind of identified with that, and I saw that as a venue that I'd like to travel down.
I've always loved that too. I think one person getting up there and telling a story is so great. You were so good that you got the One Man Show Award in New York in 2010. What was that?
Well, United Solo Theater Festival, it's a new theater festival as of last year.
United Solo.
Yes.
I just got it.
Yeah. It's a bit of an oxymoron.
Sorry.
But yeah, and they had solo performers from all over the world in New York for a 2-week period, and I just went out there. A friend told me to apply. I got in. I just went and did one show, invited a lot of families since my hometown is close to there, and shockingly, I won the best one-man show award. It was really wonderful.
And how did you write it so fast, or was it Donna Madonna? Was it the beginning of Donna Madonna?
I wrote it. I started writing it about 2 years ago. I took a solo performance class from Molly Prather, who's a solo performer in the comedy circuit at Upright Citizens Brigade and IO West. She is between LA and New York. And she's the one that really kind of got me going on how the structure of a one-man show should sort of work. So I developed it and workshopped it at IO West in Hollywood.
Oh, IO West. I see. What does it stand for?
It used to stand for Improv Olympic, but I think they were sued by the Olympic Commission. So
it's IO.
But that's what it means, yeah.
Oh, I see.
So I workshopped it a little bit there. I also did a workshop production at Celebration Theater last fall.
And what was the title then?
It was still Donna Madonna.
It was Donna Madonna. When you left SC, because it's a great department, what path were you going to take from college on? Were you thinking about acting, or were you going to write, or? Oh yeah,
I went to USC's School of Theater under Madeline Puzo at the time.
She's great. She was
lovely.
Great. Yeah.
And my trajectory was always acting, but the thing that they never tell you when you start school is that it's more, you can't just say, I'm going to be an actor. There's more facets to it than that.
Right. So, what kind of classes do they give for that?
Oh.
For being the facet?
Well, I had kind of a multidisciplinary training because I transferred into USC.
Oh, you did?
I started out at Catholic University in Washington, D.C., which at the time had a very classical sort of avant-garde theatrical training. After 2 years, I came out to LA, and that was more the business, the audition technique, and contemporary. So I really got a nice sense of both sides of theater.
Yeah, it was very good.
A unique training.
You worked on a lot of projects then, I guess, short projects like Dante's Inferno and what were the other ones? You worked on a TV pilot, I know.
Yeah, that was an independent TV pilot.
Oh, I know, and Little Black Dress at AFI.
That was a part of the AFI Women's Workshop. Delusions of Grandeur was the name of the independent pilot that I worked on, and Dante's Inferno was a straight-to-DVD animated project. Voiceover is one of my passions.
Oh, you did voiceover.
Yeah.
That's great. So did you learn all of that at SC?
You know, some of it, and some of it is just a lot of, was training outside and real-world experience. I trained for a number of years under several voiceover professionals, including Bob Bergen, who does Porky Pig.
Oh, that's great.
And he became my voiceover mentor, so that was that sort of launched me into that area. I've always wanted to do voices of cartoons, so. You
did these short stories, short movies or films or whatever. Where do you think they're going to go, or where would they go?
Well, I mean, it kind of depends what the people do with them. I know Deborah Correa, who produced and directed Little Black Dress. I know she's been shopping it around to various festivals, throughout the world. So it varies.
Little Black Dress is a film.
Yes.
And how long is it?
I think it's about 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get the framework of, a short film. They're no longer than 30 minutes?
Yeah, they're just a little short story, yeah.
And why would somebody do a short film like that?
I think the fun thing about a short film is that, it's a nice way to meet a lot of people, to get into a character and to have that experience in a short amount of time. I mean, it's not the 3-month filming process that a feature would be. So,
but do they think it's going to go? Would they make a full-length feature from it?
I think Deborah has said that she wants to do that. It varies from person to person, but I think that there's always that idea that they'd like it to become something larger.
So you have all this other career in between your first solo winning in New York to now at the Lounge Theater with Donna Madonna. Talk about that. It's autobiographical, obviously. But are a lot of one-person plays not autobiographical?
I found a lot of them at the very least latch on to somebody's personal experience. The whole thing might not be entirely truthful, but I think in order to be able to get up and talk about something by yourself for a period of time, it has to at least be inspired by your personal experience.
So this is the mailer.
Yeah.
Yes, and this is you, right? Between two women's
affections.
Affections, so that's a good way to put it, okay.
Right.
Tell us about it.
Well, Donna Madonna is the autobiographical story of basically my life as an adopted child. I was adopted when I was only a month old by these wonderful parents, one of whom is this just adorable Catholic Scrantonian housewife, and she's just lovely.
Scrantonian,
Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Do you call her Scrantonian?
Yes, the Scranton. Yeah. Well, I think there used to be like a daily paper, something called the Scrantonian.
That's good. That's good. Okay, so you're living in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, and my parents are wonderful, but I think, just having that creative background and, just sort of the creative genes in my head, I just always felt a little bit out of place where I was. So I always wondered who my birth family was. And about 5 years ago, I decided to seek them out, or at least my birth mother. And strangely enough, I found her through the organization I was adopted with.
Was it a Catholic organization?
It was St. Joseph Center, which is located in Scranton. They still exist. It's a wonderful, wonderful organization. And I found her, and it turns out she lives in LA. And she's a fashion columnist, and she's married to a British pop star. She's just the polar opposite of what my mom is.
Of how you were brought up.
Yeah. And yet, when we first met, we just discovered there was just so much in common. Like just
that you had the artistic genes.
Yeah.
That she must have had, obviously.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I mean, we both, it's that experience that a lot of people take for granted, that you look like your family, or you talk like your family, or you gesture like your family. I'd never had that until that day.
Oh my gosh.
So the story kind of.
And this is what unfolds.
Yes.
Who's the Madonna?
Well, Donna is my mom. She's very Donna Reed-esque.
And Madonna.
And Madonna is my birth mother.
Oh, because she's like Madonna the singer.
Yes.
Oh, I got it. So, oh dear. Do you sing in it?
I do a little bit of singing. Yeah.
Have you taken singing lessons?
I did. When I went to school in D.C., I took some singing lessons while I was there, and I did competitive chorus when I was in high school.
Did you think about musical theater?
I did. I just don't dance. I don't.
You don't have that rhythm?
I have rhythm, but I never had the training, and I just always felt I was at a disadvantage. So
the interesting thing about your play is that you've brought in a charity element.
Yes.
The Kinship Center. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, the story started out as a love letter just to my two mothers, but as I started doing it, and people would come up to me after the show, both people I knew and people I'd never met, talking about their experience with adoption, their brother, their sister, their family, themselves. I started to see just such a large, a variety of different stories, from, really happy and joyful to really sad stories surrounding adoption. It occurred to me that I'm really lucky. I have not only one mother who loves me dearly, but I also have another woman in my life who is very supportive as well. And there are, so many children out there who don't even have one parent who really cares for them. So I realized that Donna Madonna needed to benefit a larger
that was
group.
so nice. And Kinship Center, is that
It's
group?
a California or a nonprofit organization. They have multiple locations throughout Central and Southern California. And they basically are a foster care and adoptive organization that provides foster care, adoptive services, or even just relative services for children who need families. So,
that's so great. And tell us the costuming and the lighting.
This is more or less
this
the
is your costume.
This is kind of it.
Are you dressed?
I'm a little eccentric, but pretty casual. I like to keep it pretty chill.
And who directed?
It was co-directed. When I was starting to workshop it, I worked it with Matthew Craig, who is currently a writer for Saturday Night Live, and we started to piece together what it became as a piece. And then Tiger Reel, who is the artistic director of Action Theater in Los Angeles.
Oh, that's how.
He's the one that staged it and really put together how it moves. So. And Tiger's the one that I still currently work with in this production.
That's why I thought it was rather strange to have two directors, but they're not there at the same time.
No.
They were like, I see.
Yeah, it was just sort of, when you do a solo show, it's it's always just kind of you just trying to, you know, find people to help put it together. And so in its earliest stages, when I was just trying to hone what it was, that's when I reached out to Matt, especially because he's a wonderful comedian. And I really wanted to make sure the funny was always in it, in the midst of all the poignancy. You know? So,
oh, I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
So it's at the Lounge, which is great. It's on. Is that on on Santa Monica? No, Melrose.
Santa Monica.
It's on Santa Monica.
Santa Monica and El Centro. It's
Oh,
a
yeah,
block
yeah.
east of Vine.
Yeah, I love those. Oh, yeah, that's a
it's
great
beautiful
little
space.
theater. Yeah.
Exposed brick. It's really lovely.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So I can't wait to see it. And if this goes on tour, what do you do with your day job?
Well, but it's funny you say that because Donna Madonna is appearing at both San Francisco Fringe and New York Fringe later this year.
Yeah.
And thank God my boss, he toured with The Sound of Music when he was young. He played Rolf.
Oh,
So
you're kidding.
he's very understanding
Oh,
of
good.
what I do. So we make it work.
And what do you do during the day?
I work at USC's Alumni Association.
Oh, of course. That's the best place to be.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Loyal Trojans.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Fight on.
Thank you very much. And thanks for watching. Keep writing to JAQUINN1@AOL.com, the email. But if you want, you can send me a letter to 777 South Figueroa, 44th floor, Los Angeles 90017. See you next time on the Joan Quinn Profiles.